Hey everybody. I know it's been some time, so welcome back. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we've all been certainly busy and trying to stay safe, but I did want to put out a video and hopefully keep your mind distracted a little bit. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about the future of the DCEU, the DC superhero movies. Where do I think they're going to go? What's been announced? What's currently in the works. We'll also talk about some box office numbers. So let's get started. When I mention these box office numbers, just keep in mind that some could be off by several $1,000,000. It just depends on the source you use. But in the grand scheme of things, a couple $1,000,000 really doesn't matter. Also, I'm not mentioning Joker in this slate of DCEU when I get into the box office numbers, but just in case you're wondering, the budget was $55 million and it made 1.074 billion, so it's very successful. They'll probably do more one-off spin-offs like that, but I just wanted to put that there up front. Also, when you're talking about the budget of a movie, you typically have to double that for marketing. That number is never reported, but that's the estimates that the experts in Hollywood always say. So for Joker, it had $55 million as a budget, but it also spent $55 million on marketing. So that puts the grand total of 110. It made what it spent and it made so much more. But just to keep that in mind when I list these numbers out. Alright, first one, Man of Steel. It cost $225 million, so double for marketing, right? You're at $450 million. It made $668 million worldwide. Keep in mind also that this is what it made is just in the box office. This does not include the DVD and Blu-ray sales, as well as deals made to put it on any streaming service. This is what it just made at the theaters. So for Man of Steel, even if you're including the marketing budget, it still made a good amount of money. That's why they made a second one. And also keep in mind that regardless of how the audience or critics review these movies, that as long as they make their money back, they will make another one. Batman vs. Superman, it cost $263 million, double for marketing. So keep that in mind. Whenever I give you the cost, double that, and that's its probably total budget. So, Batman vs. Superman, it cost $263 million. It made $873 million worldwide. Very successful, also controversial because of whether or not we wanted a darker tone or not. This movie was very darker tone, a very stark contrast to the Marvel movies. But again, it made so much money, so they went forward. Suicide Squad cost $175 million. It made $746 worldwide. Again, this movie was not liked by many, but it made a lot of money, so that's why they're continuing this franchise. Wonder Woman cost $150 million, and it made $821 worldwide, very successful. Justice League, now this one was bad. Justice League cost $300 million, double for marketing, $600 million. That's an insane amount of money, the fact that over $500 million for this one movie. And it costs so much because Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide during the filming of this movie. So they had to bring in Joss Whedon to come and finish filming. And then he also did a bunch of reshoots. And then, Henry Cavill had to come back when he was filming Mission Impossible. So they spent like a ton of money CGIing away his mustache. Any of you guys who keep up with this stuff, you remember that story. But it only made $656 million worldwide. So it only made like $56 million, and that's not good. That's not good at all. And because, you can add or subtract several million, it kind of just broke even. So that's not good at all. Which is why the future of this franchise has been so shaky for so long. But it turned around pretty quickly when Aquaman came out. It cost $160 million, so its budget was a lot less, similar to Wonder Woman. But it made $1.1 billion worldwide. That was a huge success. I think the reason why the movie did so well is because whatever you think about the other movies, we can all agree that casting is pretty spot on. And Jason Momoa as Aquaman is really good. And that movie is actually pretty incredible. So that did really well. Shazam cost $85 million. Again, they're lowering the budget even more because Justice League, they spent so much and it wasn't worth anything. And so Shazam cost $85 million and it made $364. That's not bad, especially for a more unknown character to the general audience. They are making a Shazam 2. We'll get into that later. Now, Birds of Prey, which is still in theaters, cost $82 million and it's made $200 million so far. So not bad so far. It's only been out for about a month or so. And with the whole coronavirus going on, there's a good chance a lot of people haven't seen this movie yet. And because of the virus and the shutting down of movie theaters and social distancing, this is one of the movies that is affected by that. It is still a very good movie though. And I think they're on a right track now, Warner Brothers and DC are. And they realize that you don't need to give a big flashy budget for a movie to make it good. You can go a much smaller budget and get a much better movie as long as you have the writing down, the directing down, and the actors give a great performance. So overall, they've spent about 1.45 billion or 3 billion if you double for marketing, and they've made 5.48 billion dollars. That's pretty successful, and that's why they're still going to make more, and that's why they're still invested in this franchise so much. So, knowing all this, what is the future of the DC cinematic universe? Like I talked about earlier, these movies generally have mixed reviews, but they're improving very well, and a lot of us agree with that. And movies like Shazam and Aquaman, like I said, prove that even with a small budget, you can make a great movie as long as the storytelling is good. All of that being said, in the original schedule that they released several years ago when they announced Batman vs Superman, by now we should have got a Flash movie, a Cyborg movie, Justice League 2, Green Lantern. So all this stuff has been put on the back burner because Justice League just did so poorly. But we do know, like I said, that DC and Warner Brothers still want to make these movies. A lot of fans want to see these, but they're taking a different direction now. They talked about something recently that they want to do a lot of spin-offs and one-offs. That's one of the reasons why we got Joker, is they wanted to do spin-offs and one-offs instead of a more connected universe. At first they were going for the more connected thing like Marvel, but they kind of did poorly, so they decided to back away from that. I still want a connected DC universe, but again, the problem was that they rushed into it. Like Batman vs Superman should have not been the second movie in this series of movies. You should have had a second Man of Steel, a Wonder Woman. I would like a Batman too, but you could throw Batman vs Superman as Batman's first outing, as it really is kind of a Batman. So, anyways, that's another discussion, but they went about it the wrong way. So I hope they're not giving up completely, and I don't think they really are, but I just don't know if we'll see any team up movies anytime soon. So where do we go from here? The list of movies that I'm going to talk about now, they have a specific date and are filming or in some version of the film process, either pre-production or post-production. So we all know that Wonder Woman 84 is supposed to come out this summer, but there's a good chance if the coronavirus thing keeps happening, it's going to be delayed a bit. We know the reboot of Suicide Squad will be coming out next summer of 2021. They've already finished filming. They're in post-production. I don't know how much of the virus will actually affect that. Talking about DC going different directions, is that movie did so bad. Like, that movie made money, but it was so poorly received because it wasn't rated R, the characters aren't true to their own nature, and the movie just really doesn't make any sense. If you just take it as just a random movie, I guess it's okay, but The Suicide Squad isn't a second one, it's a soft reboot, where they're probably going to ignore the events of the first one. Next summer as well, Robert Pattinson's Batman movie is going to come out. I don't know if they've delayed filming on that, but at the moment, that's what's planned. Black Adam solo movie is supposed to come out in the winter of 2021, and Shazam 2 is supposed to be filming at the same time as the Black Adam movie, and I feel like they're going to be connected in some sort of a way. So maybe they'll make like micro connections throughout these movies, sort of like how in Captain America Winter Soldier, you have Black Widow in it, or in Thor Ragnarok, you have Hulk, so I feel like they're going to do stuff like that. But Shazam 2 is supposed to come out in summer of 2022, and the Flash movie at the moment is summer of 2022 as well. I don't know if the Flash movie will ever come out. I mean, it's been delayed so many times now. It's had so many different directors and script changes. I mean, if it does come out in 2022, that'll be like a 4-year delay, which is just... it's just crazy to think about and just sad. We all want a Flash movie, and I feel like if they keep delaying it, Ezra Miller is just going to quit being the Flash. Ben Affleck had said that he really did want to do the Batman solo movie. He had a script and directing, but if he had to go through what he went through filming Justice League, dealing with Warner Brothers, he would have gone back to drinking. So I understand why he left. It just sucks because I actually think he's a really good Batman. Aquaman 2 has been announced. It's supposed to come out in winter of 2022. That's definitely going to happen. The first movie did so well. We know that James Wan, the director of Aquaman, wants to make a trench movie. If you remember from Aquaman, they went to the trench and it was that scary area. Supposedly that movie is supposed to come out before Aquaman 2. I don't know how far they are in the script writing or anything, but Aquaman 2 is definitely confirmed. We'll see about the trench movie. So that's what's confirmed so far for everything. But what's been announced and that's in the works, right? What's in script writing or pre-production and what's being approved currently by DC and Warner Brothers. In this list that includes Gotham City Sirens. The question is will this movie still come out if Birds of Prey does poorly? Sure, Birds of Prey has done well by generally the audience, but is this a movie people want to see? If Birds of Prey doesn't make a lot of money, this movie may not come out. Like Suicide Squad is getting another chance because at least it made a lot of money. So we'll see. The Green Lantern horror movie is supposedly still in the works, and I really hope we get to see that. I hope we get to see a Hal Jordan and a Jon Stewart. Idris Elba for Jon Stewart for me. But again, Idris Elba is going to be in the Suicide Squad, so I don't think that's going to happen. Supposedly, they're also still working on a Justice League Part 2, which is a very long time between that and then this one. Will we actually see Darkseid? I don't know. But hey, I'm down for another Justice League. I think it will have a lot of characters. I think that's what they're going for, like an Infinity War type movie. They're supposedly working also on a Nightwing solo movie. That could be interesting. We know that the Batman of this world has gone through Nightwing and Jason Todd already. Whether or not the future of Batman in this universe is going to be Robert Pattinson, are they going to try to convince Ben Affleck to come back in 5 years? I don't know. Because we know the Robert Pattinson Batman movie is Batman in year 2, so it can still be in this universe. It's just him when he's younger. I wouldn't mind seeing a Red Hood movie. I think that storyline's very interesting. So they're working on a Deathstroke solo movie. There's a script floating around for that, as well as a Harley Quinn and Joker solo movie. I don't know if the Harley Quinn and Joker solo movie will ever actually happen. There was also a Joker solo movie with Jared Leto tied to it in the works some time ago. But I honestly think that movie was replaced with Joaquin Phoenix's Joker because, well, I mean, the audience didn't really like Jared Leto's Joker. I don't think it's because of his performance. Again, I think it's the stylistic approach and, maybe him being a weird actor or something. I'm not entirely sure. But I feel like that movie's definitely not in the works anymore. You never know. The Harley Quinn and Joker, that could be interesting, but the whole point of Birds of Prey was her being like, I'm done, right? I'm done. I'm my own woman now. I'm on my own. And we'll see. I don't know, but that's supposedly still in the works. So is a Deadshot solo movie. I don't know. Is it a good idea to make a solo movie of each member of the Suicide Squad? A lot of people don't know these characters. A lot of people don't really care for them either. And again, Deadshot's an exception. He sort of is an anti-hero. He's not really a true villain. But a lot of these guys are just villains. And if you're trying to turn them into anti-heroes, that's not being faithful to the character. So, I don't know. They are planning to make a Blue Beetle movie and a Booster Gold movie. Whether or not there's going to be crossover between those, I don't know, probably. Does anyone want to see those? I don't know, maybe. They're also planning to do a Plastic Man solo movie and a New Gods movie. New Gods could be interesting. You can make it very mythological, sort of Eternal style that Marvel's doing. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I feel like a lot of these ideas and scripts that are being thrown out there, they can just incorporate them to other movies and make them minor stories. So like Captain America 3 Civil War, the main point of the movie is continuing Steve's journey with Bucky. That's the point. But Marvel wanted to do Civil War, but you can't hold all these actors forever, so they made it a subplot within Captain America 3. I feel like you should be doing that with some of these other movies. You could throw Plastic Man in like a Flash movie, for example, and make it a subplot. You don't need to have just a movie for just a character that maybe a lot of people don't know about. So we'll see though. The writer of Wonder Woman wants to make an Amazonian spin-off movie, and supposedly she's working on a script. That'd be cool. Show their mythology a bit. You can have Zeus and whatnot. We all know the Batgirl movie was in the works for a while by Joss Whedon, but then he got kicked out or something. Is that still in the works? I don't know. Is she going to be Oracle? Or is it just like her transformation from Batgirl to Oracle? Is she going to be in the Gotham City Sirens movie? Because I feel like in that movie she'd be Oracle. They're, I guess, still working on Cyborg as well, but it's been delayed on. I liked Ray Fisher as Cyborg in Justice League, but the biggest problem is similar to the problem that Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern has. His entire suit's CGI, and you can tell it's CGI. And until the end of Justice League, he didn't have his regular suit. His outfit was just weird, and it just looked weird, and I think they really need to get that down, which is why it's probably been delayed. Same with Green Lantern. And I'm okay with that. I just want a good movie. I don't want a really bad movie. They're working on a Justice League Dark. They keep talking about different casting rumors. That'd be very cool. John Constantine and that entire crew are fascinating to me, so I'd love to see Justice League Dark. They're making a Lobo movie. I don't know why, but they're doing it. And supposedly they're making a Supergirl movie. No, it probably will not be Melissa Benoist because she's in a different universe. I talked about the Trench movie already. That'd probably be an R rating, so that'd be really cool. And supposedly a third Wonder Woman movie is already being written. As long as the second one does well, they'll make a third. I guess there is a Man of Steel 2 movie script being worked on currently. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I'd really love to see him just complete his story. If they really don't want to do main characters anymore, and if they want to do all these one-offs, that's fine. But complete the main cast that you started with so they can move on. So that's everything that's announced. We talked about what's definitely going to happen. We talked about what's announced. So where does the franchise go from here? I think the biggest thing is Warner Brothers needs to trust their creatives and not let executives and board members to control the fate of a movie. Because if they do control the fate of a movie, you get a Suicide Squad or a Justice League where the characters aren't true to nature, or like in Justice League, there's a tonal difference in the movie, and it just feels odd. And I understand the tonal difference is because there were two different directors, but they should have just made Joss or brought in someone else. Just stick with Zack's original script. I think Batman vs. Superman is a better movie than Justice League simply because Batman vs. Superman has the same tone. Justice League is good because, as a kid, I always wanted to see these characters on the big screen, but it's everywhere. The movie's everywhere. And it just feels odd. I think if you trust in your creatives, they can really make something well. Aquaman and Joker both did very well in the box office and with the audience because they let the creatives do their thing. And that's just literally proof of it right there. Same with Wonder Woman. And I believe moving forward, they're starting to do that more. I mentioned how Birds of Prey hasn't made a lot of money, but it could be because of the coronavirus or even just a burnt out audience. We like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, but Suicide Squad just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But like I said, Birds of Prey was pretty good because it felt like a natural progression for the character and true to story, so I think that was very good. Again, just give these guys a good script, have a good writer on board, make sure the writers actually understand the source material, and then let the director and the other creatives actually make a good movie. Everyone has their job. You're a creative person, you're an executive board member, stick to your role. I really hope Henry Cavill doesn't quit being Superman. I mean, the way they're treating him like they did with Ben Affleck, I would understand if he did quit. But the man wants to make another Man of Steel, let him make another Man of Steel. I always talk about in movies how I actually think most actors do a very good job, but if there's a bad movie, it's more than likely the writer's fault. Because if the script is bad, an actor can only do so much with it. You know what I'm saying? So, get good writers. And also, the DC movies, they can be dark. It doesn't need to be quippy like the MCU. And I think they learned that lesson after Justice League. And the people that didn't like Batman vs. Superman, they don't like it because it's dark, but they respect that the entire movie is dark. It has that singular tone, and it feels correct. Is it too soon in the franchise and universe in general? Yeah, but still not terrible. So there are a lot of good movies in development. Like I said, I think they could be maybe taking it too far with the D and C list characters. I think it'd be better to focus on the A and B list character and make movies on them, complete their story, and then move on to the D and C list characters. Marvel didn't introduce the Guardians of the Galaxy as their third movie. That'd be insane to have that happen. No one knew about the Guardians. Now people do, but again, it's because they introduced them once the universe and the world was set up, and now they're more like A and B list characters, when before the Guardians were definitely D and C list characters. So I think you guys start with your A and B list, set up the universe, you can have little cameos, and then you can have the little guys go and take over then. But I think making a Lobo movie, making a Deadshot movie, I don't know about some of this stuff. The Suicide Squad as a soft reboot, but a real reboot, but not a real reboot. It's just too much. It's too confusing. It's getting worse than the X-Men timeline. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I think if you make good movies with these A and B list characters, you can earn the audience's trust back, and then you can introduce the new characters to the general public. But they gotta get rolling before the other actors quit. People get old, they may want to quit to move on to other projects, or they can't physically do certain things anymore, so gotta get moving on this. They're being left in the dust, and they have so much good property and IP that they're letting it go to waste. Alright, that's the future, along with my thoughts on the DCEU and where it's heading. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of the good stuff happen, and we'll see less bad stuff. I hope to see a lot of these that are being worked on, and I hope they're all really good. I just want a good movie. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe. hang in there. I'll see you guys for the next one.